Hi to everyone. This is Daniel from DEXMA, the Project Director. Thanks today for joining us to this new webinar event. Today, we would like to explain you how you can detect energy savings automatically in the retail and real estate activities, using as well, or for people who has portfolios of more than 30 buildings. And I have here today with me our country manager for Spain, which is Roger Marcos. Hi, Roger. How are you?
Hi, Daniel. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. So before we start, maybe we can explain to audience what does DEXMA understands by real estate and by retail?
Yes, we can. As retail, we can understand this kind of medium-sized installations between 200 and 400 square meters, maybe, and with a lot of sites.
Exactly. So fashion chains, right? All of those.
Bank offices.
Bank offices as well.
Supermarkets.
Supermarkets, right? Okay. And then in the real estate way?
In the real estate sector, we understand these organizations dealing with a lot of big buildings, tertiary buildings like office buildings, other kind of activities, but mainly these ones.
Okay, so they rent their space to third parties, right? So they like space as a service companies, something like that. Good. So you will start explaining us and to the audience the sustainability challenges for those real estate and the retail companies. Then I would like to explain to the audience how they can go from detection to action with DEXMA. And then we both together will explain them how to detect energy savings automatically. Right, Roger?
Right, Daniel. So when you want, we can start.
Yeah, before we start, just the last thing, guys, you can type your own questions using the GoToWebinar application, right? So you can type there any question that you would like to ask us. And then at the final part of this session, we would solve them up. Okay. So now we start, Roger, with your part. Oh, what's that?
Great. That was something I was going to ask to our audience. We have the answer, of course, but we are not showing you yet. First of all, we would like to make you think about why are we here today. So why are we doing this webinar? Why are we talking about sustainability, energy efficiency, and so? And we have found that this slide shows one of the answers why we are here. After these seconds, this period of time we've given you to think about what it is, we'll show you the answer.
Okay.
Daniel, please.
And the answer is, so we unveil that. Whoa.
Yes, that's the annual average of temperatures in the world from 1850 to 2018.
Wow.
Let me explain you how we should read this slide. The white stripes means the average between 1970s to 2000 years. So it's an average of these temperatures. Blue ones are cooler than this average from 70s to 2000s, and red ones are from are above this average.
Understand.
As you can see, probably from year 1990, 2000 till now, the red color is getting more and more common. What does it mean? Well, you can imagine the global temperature is growing and it's growing fast. So that's one of the reasons why we are here, why we are dealing with energy efficiency, climate emergency, and so on. So that's why we're going to talk about all that with this DEXMA webinar.
And then we have this as well, right?
Yes, the challenge is there, and it's not only scientists that are dealing with that, but also common people.
Yeah, people.
People is taking the streets. People is asking for answers as well, and it's not only Greta Thunberg that is dealing with that, but it's all the youth in the world that is trying to ask politicians why we are not doing enough for stopping this climate change or this climate emergency, as this is called right now.
Well, actually, I think that the European Union declared climate emergency almost less than 1 month ago, something similar like that.
True.
So maybe, yeah, some things started to change thanks to people, right, Roger?
Right. And well, what youth says, it's time to rise up. It's time to
stand up and go there and
to do more than we've done until now. And that's why we are going to help not only the youth but also all the rest to achieve this this need that it's to fight against climate change and this climate emergency.
And I think that you want to share with us a couple of news, right, that appear very recently.
True.
Into the papers.
Big companies are starting to react. They are acting as well, but they are reacting to these people's needs or these people's demands. On one side, we can see Sainsbury's, one of the biggest retail companies in UK, that is investing or is planning to invest more than £1 billion pounds, right? Till 2040 to cut emissions to zero. To zero. That's a big announce. To zero. Yeah, it's you know, we all know that it's not easy. It's not only money. Yeah. It's not only money. We have to invest. It's a change of mentality, and well, that's why we're going to be all together to get these objectives.
These objectives, right? And
but
then, go.
But not only retail companies as we understand them until now, but also giant Amazon with each CEO, Jeff Bezos, has already announced an investment of more than $10 billion to cut or to address climate change. So big companies are taking into account this need, this emergency, and they're taking that seriously. So we are all, it seems that we are all in the same way, we are all in the same path to fight against this major problem we have.
Actually, I was reading as well, Roger, this news about Jeff Bezos and the amount of money that he's willing to give for the climate change. And I read that Amazon is delivering like 3 billion boxes per year with a total amount of 44 billion, I think it was tons of CO2 emitted. So it was a huge amount of carbon that Amazon as well is trying to solve by delivering thanks to electrical vehicles and some other actions, right?
Sure. And Jeff Bezos knows that people is asking for that.
Yeah.
If he doesn't change it, somebody else will do, and he will lose part of this
the market share.
The market share. So he has to do that.
So we've talked about this, but could you maybe explain us which are the real sustainable challenges on the retail, for instance?
It was something I was going to ask. How does it affect to the two sectors we're talking about them today? So first of all, which are the sustainability challenges in retail? Well, here we have some of the answers. More of 60% of consumers are changing their shopping habits in order to be sustainable. 60%, okay. Over that. So and it's increasing. Okay. So it means that we have to be there, or companies that want to grow should be there.
Should be greener.
Should be greener, sure. More 20% of consumers say that sustainability is important to them. It's true that sustainability or something important to them doesn't mean that it directly means it's an increase of sales, but at least it's something changing. I mean, they take into account when they're going to buy something if sustainability is on the product or the service. So more and more, it's something important for them.
Okay.
And related to that, this this data that comes from IBM Institute says that 70% of the people that were in this pool, say, would pay an average premium of 35% on sustainable goods. So they are willing to pay more for green products or services
and from green companies, right?
Sure. On the other hand, we have this evolution of the importance of the sustainability factor by age group.
Wow.
We have here from the boomers to Z generation, Z generation.
Yeah.
And we can see that the most implicated, the most concerned people are the millennials. And it's the same to say that the people with a bigger capability of spend money are the ones who are most concerned about sustainability or energy or climate change. That for us, it's almost the same. So, and it's 90% of the people in the sector of millennials that are that says that clean products are important. But the rest of the factors that appears in this poll says as well that sustainability, environmental, responsible, health, support recycling, etc., are important for them. And all of them, it's about 80% of the people that is concerned in this.
And even like the worst level here, it's 67%. I mean, 67% at least wants to do something related with sustainability concerning with the customers that they have been surveying, right?
Sure, and it's going up. So I mean, it's something that has come and it will not go away.
So that's a big challenge for the retail chains, right? So how they address this, how they optimize their energy consumption into their shops, but not only into their shops, into their products, the traceability that the products have, and so on, right? So it's the sustainability challenges.
They have to be aware of what the people want to know. Well, this graphic says that almost all of them, all group ages are concerned in this kind of issues.
And what about real estate, Roger?
In real estate, sustainability challenges change a bit, but deal with the same problems. First of all, we can find that what the real estate organizations look for is the comfort and satisfaction of tenants.
Of course, the first point seems obvious, right?
Seems obvious, but more and more they try to deal with discomfort together with this sustainability and energy efficiency are almost the same. We try to get comfort and satisfaction, but in a sustainable way. And one of the other challenges of the real estate sector is the competitivity. It's related to what I said before, in the meaning of to increase competitivity, you have to. It's not more a must. It's more than that. To be sustainable, to have it into account in your portfolio of buildings. It will help you increase for sure the competitivity of this kind of organization. And on the other side, and related to that as well, is the assets value increase. I mean, having this kind of buildings, real estate organizations buildings, with a more efficiency and sustainability factors into taking them into account will increase the value of these assets.
And then if you have a very good assets, then you have a huge value portfolio, right?
Sure, that's related.
So then the investors wants to invest in and so on.
Yeah.
So which are from your experience talking with customers at DEXMA, how would you summarize the top problems regarding the energy of those customers?
Well, we can find in this slide. Thanks for the question, Daniel. Regarding these 4 top challenges, in the retail and real estate sector, what they are looking for is to know where and also how are my sites consuming energy. Let's think about retail. We have a lot of installations, a lot of sites, so it's not easy to get all of them into the same platform and with a nice and easy place to check how are they consuming energy. But not once we know where and how are we consuming energy, we should know which investments or where should we invest first in order to increase these assets value. DEXMA can help on that, and it's important to know that it's not always the place where we are saving more energy, where we should first invest. It depends on each organization. It depends on each type of company. Something that all of them have in common, and it's the first question most of the times we have, is what can I do to reduce my energy bills?
Yeah.
No, it's something that it's the first question anybody
that we always hear,
ask
right?
us. And well, of course we can help them. Of course, with this big data and this platform with such capabilities can help in a very reliable and fast way to help how to reduce these energy bills. And last but not least, we can more and more companies, big companies, are taking into account these sustainable development goals from the the 17 sustainable development goals, the SDGs, and we can also help them to check if they are achieving or not them. More of half of them are related to sustainability, energy efficiency, etc. And it's important to know in each of the cases where are we and where should we be. No, well, exactly. Most of them. So we can help them in viewing in a reliable way as well. How are our clients dealing with these SDGs? More and more big companies are asking us how we are doing so. So it's an important issue. It's an important challenge in both retail and real estate organizations.
So then this is our mission, right?
Our mission, yes, we can read it as it is on the slide because it's well written and it's not time for inventions. But our mission is to help people and organizations understand and optimize their energy use. This word energy, well, related to sustainability and emergency climate as well. We believe, and it's something DEXMA really does, the future of energy is digital, and we are building it.
One building at a time.
One building at a time, one industry at a time, one retail installation site at a time, etc. Yes, of course.
So one by one, trying to scale energy efficiency to the whole world, if possible.
Sure,
right?
Possible. Well, we're dealing with that.
Exactly. So now maybe it's time for me to explain to our audience how they can go from detection to action with the platform. What do you think, Roger? We go ahead with that?
It's a moment too. Once we have understood why we're here, it's
why we're here, right? So DEXMA, we always explain that DEXMA is a unique platform because it's the one platform, it's the unique platform in the market that you can go from the very beginning on the energy efficiency journey up to the last mile of it, right? So from detecting savings, so where I should detect, where should I invest, what should I do, analyzing those savings and verifying savings, and then optimizing as well. So discovering anomalies thanks to artificial intelligence, controlling demand, loads, etc. Right? So this is why DEXMA, it's the unique platform that can service you with all of these steps. Basically, the first step, it's detecting, right? Imagine a scenario, Roger, where you don't have hardware yet, or you could maybe have only smart meters.
We found that. We find that some of our clients don't have yet hardware.
Exactly.
And they are not willing to invest much money on that. So
exactly.
It's a real, it's a true example.
Scenario, right?
Yeah.
So we have lots of customers that want to start with the energy efficiency adventure, let's say, but they don't have, or they are not willing to invest on hardware, right? So we offer them DEXMA Detect. Detect analyzes the information that it's available already. Let's imagine energy bills, maybe some smart meters that you have, and together with metadata information such as where are the buildings located, how old are they, which is the surface of those buildings, the activity of those buildings. We go and we compare those buildings with the 80,000 buildings that we have in our database already, right? So we apply big data and artificial intelligence algorithms on top of that to deliver, for instance, a portfolio benchmarking, right? So our customers can truly answer the question of where should I invest? I have a portfolio of, let's say, 100 retail shops. Which ones are the low-hanging fruit, right? But with data, with science behind.
But Daniel, isn't it like a virtual energy audit?
Yeah, it's similar to virtual energy. Actually, you don't have to perform traditional audits to go on that. So that implies that you go faster, right? So you go faster, and of course, the amount of investment needed to perform this pre-audit is much less than paying for an outsourced company to go and visit your hundreds shops, right?
Sure, but and let me ask you that something probably you will explain later as well. But maybe our audience is also asking themselves for that. And how reliable are these kind of virtual energy audits or pre-energy audits?
Yeah, well, actually, we do perform. So we have been comparing the results that we got from DEXMA Detect versus real audits. And the accuracy that we are getting is almost plus than 90%, even in some sectors is plus than 95%.
Wow, nice.
So that means that actually it's not made by a human, but you can rely on the data, at least to quickly detect where are the good ones to start investing to.
Great,
right?
Great, thank you.
So you got with DEXMA Detect virtual disaggregation, and this is something important. So from the main consumption we got from the bill or from the smart meter, thanks to our existing database, we can virtually disaggregate the consumption in the main sub-consumptions. Let's say lighting, HVAC, refrigerators in the case of the supermarket, and similar loads. So then from that, we simulate the recommendations, right?
Great, but this virtual disaggregation is without submetering your...
Without hardware, right?
Great.
So you don't need to deploy hardware, so you can step back, so you can quickly go from 0 to 100 without hardware. And those recommendations are based on a library of recommendations that we provide by default. But then, of course, you in your own projects, in your own companies, you can tune up those recommendations with the costs that the providers are providing to you, with the kind of recommendations that you want to analyze, because maybe you want to go much more in detail in the HVAC recommendations rather than windows or facade refurbishment. So each of our customers, Roger, they can tune up the library of recommendations.
That's important, because it's something like our clients, our final clients are asking for.
Yeah.
Let me help the final client
to
what I'm interested in.
Exactly.
So it's something important to have to take into account.
And then second step, so once the tech has told you, hey, Roger, you should start investing into that building, then you would deploy probably hardware to do submetering and to verify that those savings are really being achieved. So then it's when you can use the second module of DEXMA, which is DEXMA Analyze, that basically it's an ongoing monitoring and analysis system with a lot of features. Here you can see, for example, the measurement and verification feature, that it's intended to help our customers to verify in real time how are they performing into their EPC contracts or into their energy efficiency retrofit projects, for instance.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then we have the last step, right? The optimize. So we've been starting by detecting, then analyzing, and then optimizing. So we have detected, Roger, that the most data you have, the lower you analyze them. And this is normal because, you know, so you are inserting maybe, I don't know, 10 million data readings per week in a 100 retail shops portfolio, right? There is no enough humans to analyze all this data, right? Sure. So you have to work with tools such as that one, DEXMA Optimise, that uses artificial intelligence to analyze continuously your data and then tell you, Roger, hey, probably here you are committing some inefficiency. So just look at that, okay?
Great.
And that's what we're doing at DEXMA.
Great, helpful.
But apart from those three main steps, DEXMA as well differentiates itself in the market to other three, let's say, other philosophies that we have taken into the designing of the product. The first one, it's that DEXMA is truly hardware agnostic. So we have more than 500 native integrations. So working with DEXMA means that you don't have problems to get the data to the platform. This is very important. We have IoT protocols already available, data lakes integration. So from those customers that they have their own IoT database already, we just go there, make the integration, and get the data back to the platform. Okay. Then we have an API plus the apps market. This is very unique into the energy management sector. That means that actually each of our customers could end up developing their own application into our platform, Roger. So for instance, if they believe that maybe the platform covers 95% of their needs, but there is something very specific that they need in order to go farther in the project, they can go and develop by themselves or outsource it to a third-party development company thanks to the API.
That's something that they take into account. They like it very much to have it this open API.
That means that any customer working with DEXMA can have their own roadmap, right? So we focus our resources into making the platform better and better, and the last mile you can deliver yourself, right? And then we've been talking about artificial intelligence before into the anomaly detection, but I think that there is a bit of hype on that, right? So it seems that everyone is doing artificial intelligence. And I always like to share this slide with our audience because it's 3 real problems that we are solving with artificial intelligence. So the first one is when we are using DEXMA Detect and I have to compare and cluster and provide energy efficiency expectations for your building, we are working, Roger, in a mathematical problems of 36 dimensions.
36, do they exist?
Yeah, well, we have that problem, right? So how we solve that problem and convert 36 dimensions into something that you have into the screen, which is a cloud of points that you can select one building, each point is a building. So if you select one of the buildings, then Detect gives you the similar one. So you can make a cluster and benchmark against them. So that's, we need the help of the artificial intelligence technique here. Then we've talked about how do we disaggregate the data, right? If we don't have hardware using DEXMA Detect at the very beginning of your project, how we can disaggregate? Well, we use a technique called non-intrusive load monitoring, NILM in English, to disaggregate that. Basically, we are using our existing database of buildings with real submetering to create artificial intelligence models of how they behave, and then we apply those models to your consumption. So actually, we are virtually disaggregating that. We use artificial intelligence for that. And the last one is the one that I explained before, the automatic anomaly detection. So if you want to continuously analyze the data, you need something that really understands how your building or your HVAC or your lighting system or your tenant in the 10th floor of your building is consuming, normalizing by weather conditions, by local holidays, and so on. And you can do this without artificial intelligence. Okay.
True. It's nice to see that artificial intelligence is used to fight against this major problem we have.
Exactly. So 3 problems that we have detected on the energy efficiency field that we are trying to help people with artificial intelligence.
Right.
And that's why we believe that we're making something different. So DEXMA is not helping to produce energy management, right? Something different, because we use a lot of data-driven AI-powered energy management. And we believe that now this should become something different. That's why in our logo, we have replaced energy management by energy intelligence, right? So our customers, our partners and their customers, they do energy intelligence now.
Nice.
So now we have explained about the challenges for the retails and the real estate from detection to action with DEXMA. Now maybe it's time, Roger, to explain to our audience how you can actually detect energy savings automatically. Right?
I think that audience is willing for that. It's asking for how we are doing so. So let's see how we can help these 2 main sectors to do so.
So let's go a bit more in detail in DEXMA Detect, because it's the part that would help people to detect automatically energy savings. So the value proposition is really simple for retail and real estate. With DEXMA Detect, without having to go in detail and performing traditional audits that could last you what, 6 months to 1 year to get all your portfolio audited. DEXMA Detect very quick in a matter of weeks or even less than that. You can have the information about which buildings have the biggest upgrade potential, right? Even where are they consuming, because we will apply the nil models on that, right? So you will understand where are they consuming the most, if it's in HVAC or in lighting or in the refrigerators, on which of the parts of your building. And then very important, right? So which is my to-do list? So what do I have to do to increase the energy efficiency of the building?
Danny, it's something that I would like to ask you is, people can think that we need a lot of information to deal with this kind of solution. I mean, to use DEXMA Detect, we should have huge amount of information related to energy use, the sites, etc. So maybe it's more difficult to get this information than to make the platform real.
Well, actually, DEXMA Detect has no friction, right? So we always say that DEXMA Detect has no friction.
And what does it mean?
Actually, no friction means that you don't have to deploy hardware,
right?
And you don't have to perform on-site work, on-site visits, right? So this is DEXMA Detect. You don't need anything of this. What do you need to do? Well, and that's really important, that you don't need any upfront investment on materials, right? So CAPEX equals to 0 with DEXMA Detect. So what do we need to do? Well, actually, why DEXMA can do DEXMA Detect, or why we could develop this? Basically, because we've been in the market for 10, 13 years, actually, right now. And from our history, we have been getting data for more than 80,000 commercial and industrial buildings.
Not bad.
With submetering, right? And that's the importance of all of it. We have a lot of data into our database, which is good quality data.
Great.
So we have decided to go and to the customers that they can afford to have submetering at the beginning. Why, if we don't start by the bulk metering, so the main consumption, the monthly bills, and perform the virtual disaggregation to get the virtual energy audit, right? So that's the value proposition for us. How does it work? Which is the amount of data that we need? It's really simple. We just need monthly bills or hourly smart metering data, if available, okay?
That's easy? That's
easy. And then a bit of building metadata. So for instance, where is that building located? Which is the surface of the building? Which is the activity? Is it an office, or it's let's say a supermarket, or it's a hotel, okay? Depending on that, we will apply one model or another one, okay? That's what we need, all of this information. Thanks to the location, we go and we get the heating and cooling degree days to perform the normalizations, okay? And as well, any other metadata information that the customer has, we can use it to increase the accuracy of the model.
Great, but with a few, really few information.
Very simple. I think that all of our customers have this in an Excel spreadsheet, probably.
Sure. Yes.
So we don't need anything else than this, right? And then, which is the output of all of that? So benchmarking, load disaggregation, and potential retrofits, as we will see later on into the demo, okay? Going a bit more in detail, right? So let's use a case study to understand how DEXMA Detect works. Imagine, Roger, that you have a building located in London, okay? 5,600 square meters, and what you have only it's 2 months of fiscal metering data. So the last 12 months bill, for instance. From that, DEXMA gets the pattern and normalizes it before introducing it into our database. And then on the other side, we have 80,000 buildings of 26 sectors that we have to pick the ones that really are similar to you, okay? And from those ones that would be the green ones, imagine that we have a cluster with, I don't know, 1,000 similar buildings to your building located in London. We perform a cluster, and from that cluster, we evaluate the energy potential savings that you would have.
Great.
So imagine that the output, it's like saying that building has 5% energy savings potential. Your decision probably would be I won't do anything on that one. So I skip to the next one, right? But if DEXMA Detect tells you, well, Roger, that has a 35% potential in energy savings, you would probably go in detail, right?
Yeah, sure. Probably I would like to know more about this building.
Exactly.
To know how is it consuming and when and how.
And so far, this decision, you only can do it by performing an on-site audit that will take you at least 1 month, 2 months to get the data and then to get the results. With DEXMA Detect, you can go 100 times quicker.
Sure.
Okay,
great.
So you can accelerate that. Regarding the NIL, non-intrusive load monitoring, how this works? Well, basically, we have to train the models, right? So we have our existing database, 80,000 buildings, 26 sectors. We train the models with real submetering, okay? So we have an artificial intelligence model. And then once we don't have this, we use the main meter from the next customer, so from the customer that wants to work with Detect, and we disaggregate using the existing model, okay? Actually, we train 80% and then we validate the models with the 20% remainder to evaluate our accuracy on the models, okay? Very simple. So what do you think if we share with the audience a bit of DEXMA Detect?
I think it's the right moment to do so, yeah. Please,
so let's move away from the PowerPoint. Let's go inside to one of our accounts. So this is DEXMA platform. For the ones that you maybe don't know it yet, DEXMA has, this is the analyze part here, but we have another part called Detect and the retrofits, the recommendations catalog, and then we have the apps market and the setting of the account, as I was explaining you before. Let's go now to DEXMA Detect. And here, Roger, I have loaded a portfolio of 100, I think 107 buildings, something like that, okay? So we can have a clear idea of how Detect could work for similar portfolios.
Okay, great.
Okay,
good example.
104 actually, right? So we have DEXMA Detect is telling us, okay, you are viewing 104 out of 104 locations, so you are getting 100% of your portfolio. This is the aggregated values, okay? Not something very complicated. Total square surface time monitoring, and this portfolio is consuming, attention, around 70 gigawatt per year. Okay, so that would be between 7 to 10 million euros in energy per year. Okay, and we have run all the algorithms of DEXMA Detect. That goes really quick. In a few hours, we can have these results ready. And DEXMA Detect is telling me that, look, Roger, your portfolio has an average of 58 out of 100
what does it mean?
Energy score, energy efficiency score. That means that if you would be the worst portfolio that we have ever seen, you would get a score close to 0.
Okay.
And if you would have the greater portfolio that we have seen into our database, you would be closer to 100.
Okay, nice.
Okay, so it's very simple.
It's compared to DEXMA's database.
To DEXMA's database, exactly. So you have 58 out of 100 on average on your 104 buildings. That means that your energy savings potential on average, it's 22%. Okay,
not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
And we estimate around 2 million euros in energy savings potential per year by introducing retrofits.
Okay, that's including investment.
Investment.
That we'll see later.
Well.
Okay, great.
Okay, you have here the map, so you could go and quickly see which are the buildings that are located, which is their potential savings in percentage, in absolute value, in money, right? But we can go farther down and then see what DEXMA Detect is telling us, okay? You have a top locations list. This is top energy savings wise, okay? So that means that those ones would be the ones that you should start working just today, okay? Because they have a greater energy savings potential and in both percentage and then money as well, okay? So those would be, if you should start working with 5 buildings, that would be your list, okay? Right. Very quick. And this is a very interesting chart as well, because I don't know if you ever wondered that probably 20% of your buildings would have 80% of your energy savings potential, like this Pareto thing.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
So you can actually have the numbers here, right? So here in that chart, we are slicing your portfolio, Roger. So DEXMA Detect is telling me that you have 27 locations with estimated savings within 40 to 60%.
Interesting.
So that would be probably your first phase of the project.
Sure.
So you should go and tackle those 27 locations because we have evaluated huge savings. On the other hand, you have 54 locations, so more than half of your portfolio, that we have detected less than 20% energy savings. So I won't invest any cent on that. I would just let it go.
At least not at the beginning.
Not at the beginning. Maybe on year 2, year 3 of the project, you can go and tackle them. Okay. Then you have more charts to make more intelligent decisions. You have this chart, that's comparing actually surface of the building. So how big it is, the building, and how much it consumes. Okay. And then you have two other vectors. You have the area of the balloon and then the color. The area means the savings in, let's say, money. So the bigger the balloon is, the more money you would save. Okay. And then the color means the score. Okay. So you have to look for the biggest ones, the red ones that are located on the top right? Bigger buildings, higher consumers, higher energy efficiency savings, and so on. So you could probably start using those two ones, the building 3 and the building 4 as a first part. You have this one that probably, if you would be performing traditional approaches to that problem, you would be selecting that one, right? Because it's one of the biggest ones.
Yes.
But then DEXMA Detect is telling us that only can save around 5%. So you would be losing your money, okay, if you go for that. And then you have here all the portfolio in terms of energy consumption, okay? And then the color is again the score. So you can select, if you would start for a traditional approach, you would maybe pick as well the second one, but has 14% energy savings, so it doesn't require any action at the first phase. But then you would probably miss, I don't know, that one. That one probably won't be included into the first phase, but now that you have the DEXMA Detect power, you can go and say, no, I would start by building 24 as well.
Sure. Let me add something, Daniel.
Yeah.
It is in the second case, the second bar. You can show it us, please.
Yeah.
It's true that it's only a 14% potential savings, but with 80,000 euros.
80,000 euros per year.
Depending on the investment on this location, it could be interesting to go for it as well.
Yeah.
Although it's a good one, it's in green.
Yeah.
But what I understand, DEXMA Detect is good for is to know that where and how and what and how much we should invest in this building. So it's true that it's green, but if the investment it's low or the payback it's low, it can be also interesting to invest in this one. The thing is, the amount of information that give us this useful tool, it's so high that it can help us in prioritizing what you said before, no? So it's important to know that depending on the organization and the objectives of each one, it can also be interesting to invest in this second bar, although it's as you said.
Yeah, actually, the tech gives you a huge set of metrics, so you can make better decisions.
Sure.
Would be your decision to go and then tackle the second building on the first phase. According to my experience being here in that sector many years, I would prefer to start working with the ones with higher energy savings potential, because it means that would probably be easy to get savings, right? But of course, you can decide which ones you go and tackle, and according to how much money you have, right?
Sure.
So let's go in detail, and let's rank. For instance, you have here the ranking list, right? So that ones would be the ones that you don't have to perform anything at all because they have 100 on the energy efficiency score. But then you have those ones that you can start working with. Actually, what I really like is to sort by energy estimated savings and then go in detail. For instance, we could go for the office building number 4, and let's see what DEXMA Detect has to offer in detail for that, right? Then, of course, I didn't show it before, but you have filters. So you can filter by energy, meta information. You can filter by pattern. You can filter by recommendations that you are getting. So you can use the filters just to create your portfolio to attack, okay? This is an example. This is the office building number 4. It's located in Madrid. It's about 5 gigawatt hours per year in consumption, so about 6.5 million euros per year. And we could, if you need the audit to share it with your teams or to share it with your end customers, so you can just download the audit and you can have it, right? So you can have the same information that we're showing in detail. You can have it for each of the buildings, okay? So at that point, we will use the main user interface of DEXMA Detect. We have an energy efficiency score of 41 up to 100. So that means that it's below the average, okay? And you have a pretty good amount of potential savings, which is 29%, okay? So you could start working with that. That would be getting to you around 200,000 euros per year in savings, in potential savings, annual potential savings, okay? So now this is the clustering, okay? So when we were showing to our audience how the artificial intelligence was working with that cloud of points that you could select one point and then show the others, this is what actually is the result of all of that, right? So here we are slicing the bar in 3 colors, light blue, middle blue, and dark blue. And actually the middle blue would be your building if you would be scoring 100, okay, in the energy efficiency score. Then the middle blue line is your building if your building would have an energy efficiency score of 50, okay? But as you have lower energy score, actually you have 41, you are over consuming that much, right? So at least you could be consuming as the average one. This is the minimum target that you should provide, right? So we are getting to you which amount is that chunk of energy, how big is your energy efficiency potential compared with other similars to you. And then we provide you the disaggregated consumption, okay? So just from the main consumption, we have run our algorithms, and for that specific building, the result is that the lighting would probably be more than half of their end consumption, final consumption, okay? 53%. Then you have heating 17%, and then you have cooling 16%. And then you have others that we don't know actually what it is, would be computers, would be printers, and so on, that it's only 13%. And from those, that gives you a knowledge about your building, right? So your building consumes a lot on lighting probably. So we now simulate the battery of recommendations that we have, the recommendations.
Before that, and although I know we are running out of time, I've seen there a high reliability. It's something that I asked before, and I would like to know, why does it appear here?
Well, actually, when we apply artificial intelligence models, we want to be transparent as we can with people. So if the model provides us a high reliability, so a very high accuracy, let's say more than 90% accuracy, we show that value here. Otherwise, you would see medium reliability or low reliability, that you cannot rely on that to make decisions.
And I can imagine that it's related to the database we have.
To the database and the accuracy of the models that we are training.
Great.
Right? And then at the bottom part of the virtual audit, actually you have the to-do list, right? With the financial analysis, okay? So we have a library of more than 18 different recommendations that DEXMA Detect is continuously simulating with your buildings, with your CAPEX, OPEX, ROIs, lifetimes. So we can then end up and providing the user each of the recommendations that they could probably perform into that building to reduce their energies, to reduce their energy impact, right? And then it gives you a sense of start playing with that, right? So imagine that I want to get the first 4. So then the financial analysis changes, right? So my, let's say, payback period will be between 4 and 5 years, and my total investment that I need is about 1 million euros in that case for that building, okay? So you can start going and then selecting which ones you would like to do, And from here, you can start getting or performing smarter decisions.
Great.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
And let's move now to finish it to the recommendations catalog, which is the base of all of that, right? On how you detect at scale recommendations. Well, basically, DEXMA has its own library of recommendations. Right now, it's about, I think it's about 20 so far. Even we can recommend to deploy solar panels for on-site generation, okay? Like a pre-assessment of the solar panels that you would need to cover certain amount of your consumption, okay? And from here, our customers uses this library as a base, and then they tune up the library. They can even create their own recommendations to start simulating with the DEXMA Detect buildings, okay? So I think that we have shown a bit, right? So DEXMA Detect, it's a tool that actually, we can go back here. Yeah, present, thanks to that. So it's a tool that has its own catalog of energy efficiency recommendations that you can tune, bases its power on 80,000 buildings that we have into our database, can provide virtual disaggregation to understand and then how you are consuming and then simulate recommendations. It generates the reports, right? So you can share then the reports with someone at your organization, with your boss, with your facility manager, with someone there. It doesn't require hardware, so that means that CAPEX equals to 0, and then it's part of the DEXMA platform, right? Detect, analyze, and control. So I don't know, Roger, if they want to try it, maybe they can just contact you, right, directly?
Sure, you can contact me through the email shown in the screen in the slide. And well, we try to help you know better this functionality, this new platform called DEXMA Detect, that Danny has explained so well. And well, I think that it's enough for today from our side. I don't know if there's any question, any
we'll go
doubt.
very quick because we're running out of time. So,
but we have still some minutes.
I think that we can answer some of them.
Yeah.
Where are the questions here? Okay. Someone is asking if can I have a sample report? I think that the best way and how to address this is by contacting you, right, Roger?
Yes, sure. You can contact us, and we'll help you in this kind of questions we see on the screen now. How do you simulate the recommendations?
Yeah, well, that's probably for me. So there is a guy asking how do we simulate these recommendations? Well, basically, we have the models of each recommendation implemented behind, right? So we know for each sector, for each pattern of building, which is the expected energy savings that we can get from our experience into other projects. And then we simulate CAPEX and OPEX based on the real data, right? So that would depend. Of course, the CAPEX and OPEX for Spain would be different than for Italy, for France.
Sure.
That's why the customer tunes a bit the recommendations library before before making the simulations. There is another one asking normalization against what? Well, against weather conditions, very, very important, weather conditions, against surface, and against activity. So it's not the same. Even if you go and you say all the hotels are the same, well, that's not really true. That's not true, because then you have, let's say, seasonal hotels and then you have urban hotels. So we do have clusters inside each of the sectors to make normalizations, and then against any other meta information that the customer has available.
Sure.
Right.
And also I'm thinking about the use of energy. I mean, how the building in this cluster is using energy. So the curves are similar. So we compare not only the size, the activity, and the energy consumption, but also how it is used, how is it consumed. So we will answer all these questions personally okay, in order to give you all the information you are asking for, you need.
I think maybe the last one goes for you, Roger. That's why we are looking for solutions like this. I don't think our team has time to look into this more. Who can I speak to help with this?
Okay, you can contact me, and in-house we'll look for the most appropriate person to help you in dealing with this platform. So don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll help you for sure. On the other hand, we'll answer all the questions we have you have
by email,
submitted by email. Okay.
Right. So guys, thanks for listening today and for being connected to this webinar series. We have plenty more to come during this year, so I suggest you to stay tuned into our social networks, Twitter and LinkedIn, to understand how DEXMA is transforming the energy intelligence sector. Thanks, Roger, for coming here today.
Thank you to you, Danny.
It's been a pleasure. Okay.
And thanks to all the audience being there. It's a pleasure for us as well to be with you. Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye bye.